Hello, my name is Andrew Fake from Minds and Money. Delighted to be joined today by Alex Scanlon, who is the CEO and Managing Director of Barton Gold. Delighted to have you with us today, Alex.
Thank you for having us.
Alex, for those who don't know too much about Barton Gold, can you tell us a little bit about the company?
Yeah, as a quick overview, Barton Gold is essentially a pure play gold and South Australian gold developer. So we spent several years consolidating the substantial majority of all historical producing and exploration gold assets in the central Gawler Craton of South Australia. It's a recognized gold domain. It's actually called the Central Gawler Gold Province. It's had two gold rushes during the past 130 years, and we've acquired essentially most of the significant ground and 100% of the gold processing infrastructure. So we've built a critical mass of about 1.1 million ounce resources, and we have the region's only gold mill.
And in terms of recent news, I understand you had some exciting drilling updates which came out just before Christmas.
Correct. So when we IPO'd the company about 18 months ago, we had already invested a lot of money in new regional geophysics. This is a very exciting geological domain that essentially was left behind in the 1990s when the gold price crashed. We recognized the fact that it hadn't been brought up to speed and sort of systematically worked over. We did that pre-IPO. We also sort of validated these theses post-IPO. We found 4 new gold zones for over 2 kilometers of new mineralization over the past 18 months. And so last year was really a lot of drilling. We did over 30,000 meters of drilling, and we kicked off a major program at the end of the year that was really focused on extension to depth of existing resources in areas where mineralization had not been tested to depth. And our first results, released in the middle of December, validated the thesis that indeed there are significant bodies of mineralization hiding just below the existing block model and just below the sort of reasonable prospects open pit that you have with a JORC resource estimate.
So looking ahead to 2023, what are your plans for the year in terms of exploiting and developing this resource?
Yeah, so 2023 is really about converting all of this technical work that we've done, all of the setup, into growth. We will continue a very significant amount of drilling. But the drilling that we started in September, we just finished the diamond drilling component. The reverse circulation drilling is continuing. So it's a total of about 12,000 meters of RC drilling and 2,200 meters of diamond drilling. All of those assays will be coming out. Some of them have come out, but we'll have another sort of 12,000 meters of assays coming out during the balance of January, February, March, and April. We would expect to have a resource update on our cornerstone Tunkillia project. That's currently about 965,000 ounces. So we're looking to update that resource around April. And then we have another major sort of mineral step out on that project. We've discovered a new area in September of last year called Area 51. It's sort of a regional target. And we are drilling that as well in the hopes that we can actually convert that into an entirely new gold resource. So if we do that, we might actually be able to have 2 resource updates in the first half of 2023. And then with that, we'll be right back out into field, following up low-hanging fruit for further extensions before the end of the year. The point will be to essentially end 2023 and say, we IPO'd, we gave you our thesis, we validated it, we grew it, we grew it, we grew it again. And now we take comfort that it's going to keep growing because we've validated the idea that there's a lot of these rich but untested structures. So now we're going to look forward to development planning and kick off January 2024 with the launch of a pre-feasibility study and continued growth drilling in parallel. So the idea will be to shift forward at the end of this year to development planning.
So you've got a really exciting assets with great geology. Can you tell us a little bit about your management team? Maybe start off by telling us a little bit about your background, Alex.
Yeah, look, my background is I'm actually an economist and a financier. So I have a mixed principal investments and corporate advisory background, pretty much exclusively focused on natural resources and resource-related enterprises for the past 15 years, and predominantly based in Australia, but working globally. We've built a pretty diverse and very sort of forward-leaning team with Barton Gold. We've probably got about 200 years of resource exploration, development, financing, and operations expertise in the team. Our chairman is the former CFO of Normandy Mining, which until 2002 was Australia's largest gold miner when it was purchased by Newmont. My general manager of projects was a member of Normandy's continuous improvement team. Our exploration manager is also ex-Normandy. And then we also have a sort of complete skill set around that as well. One of our board members is actually a mill optimization and development expert. Another one was the former general counsel and company secretary for Santos Limited, which is a very large South Australian oil and gas producer. And then I also have a CFO who has experience running uranium mines in South Australia. So from a sort of totality of skill sets, from financing to planning and operations and whatnot, through to the specific focus we have on operations in South Australia, that board and management team really reflects our forward ambitions and sort of sets us up to always be thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead of where we are today.
And also, can you just tell us a little bit about your shareholder base?
Yeah, so we have a pretty tight share register. We have about 176 million shares outstanding. Barton Gold was actually built as a clean company around this South Australian strategy. So we don't have, sort of 10,000 legacy shareholders from, 3 or 4 different RTO style roll-ups. The company was actually founded by 4 principal families. We did 3 rounds of private equity raising before the IPO and then the IPO. So we've got now just under 1,000 shareholders, which we've built out over time. And we have a really strong representation of what we'd say sort of sophisticated professional family office investors, and then also some institutional investors, those that are managed funds, some well-known names that specialize either in sort of generalist development investment or precious metals. And then we also have a very good representation of sort of retail high net wealth shareholders across Australia, Europe, and a few in North America as well. So we've really focused on building an international footprint, and we're actually going out now that we're in sort of the post-COVID bubble world and we can actually travel, getting out now, spreading that word, spreading the message, and really kind of increasing the interface there. And that's been very well received. We had a fantastic roadshow during November and December last year, which has corresponded with quite a strong response in our share price.
Last year was quite a up and down year for gold. I think it finished 1% up by the end of the year. That might be holding some investors back from looking at gold companies such as Barton. What would you say to them?
Well, look, what I would say is it's never too late to start looking ahead, right? Certainly when an industry or a specific metal sector or even the market generally is on the decline, people are naturally concerned and they might hold back and wait to see what's going on. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be looking ahead and saying, okay, well, when sentiment does return, these are the names, this is the area, these are the names, these are the teams I want to back. I think, we're having an interesting moment in gold. We may have actually sort of hit that inflection point. On the ground, I think there's been a noticeable shift in sentiment toward gold equities specifically since sort of early November when the US dollar gold price started strengthening again. And, we, as an entity have had a huge increase in the number of sort of inbound unsolicited requests from brokers and analysts and private investors wanting to learn about Barton Gold. They've watched us, they've seen, every single month like clockwork, we're doing something material, something real. We explain what we're going to do. We do it well. We do it cheaper than we planned. And we're also doing interesting things like generating revenue from our own asset base, which of course protects shareholders. So there's a lot of reasons why I think people are looking at us and saying, okay, we recognize that this is a team that is going to perform, and all else equal, we want to back a really good team. Oh, and by the way, these guys are actually really developing these assets quite quickly.
And for those who want to go and check out Barton Gold, what is your ticker?
It's BGD on the ASX, so Bravo Golf Delta.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Alex. We wish you all the best for 2023. That was Alex Scanlon, who's the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Barton Gold. Thank you for your time, Alex.
Thank you.